From the Long Beach, California shoreline, the THUMS Islands look like resort communities with palm trees, high-rise condos, and waterfalls. In actuality, they are man-made islands constructed more than 40 years ago to produce oil and natural gas.
Have you ever noticed these strange islands off the coast of Long Beach, California? From the shore, it might look like a vacation hotel, some type of resort. But the truth is a lot stranger. Behind the palm trees and man-made waterfall, there is a gigantic oil operation hidden in plain sight. These are the THUMS Islands of Long Beach, a collection of 4 fake islands designed to secretly pump oil from beneath the Los Angeles basin. Welcome to Waste Media. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content. The roots of these islands stretches back over 100 years to the early 1920s, when oil absolutely transformed Southern California. In 1921, oil was discovered at Signal Hill, just inland from Long Beach. The quiet residential neighborhood was soon covered in hundreds of steel derricks and became known as Porcupine Hill. By the 1930s, the massive Wilmington oil field was discovered, one of the largest oil fields in the continental United States. This oil field runs beneath the harbor, the city, and miles out to sea. So much oil was pumped out of this region that by the 1950s, many large portions of Long Beach had sunk drastically, some areas as far as 30 feet. This is a problem known as land subsidence, or oil field subsidence. Basically, when oil is pumped out of the ground, it removes fluids from the ground that help support the weight of the layers of rock and sediment above them. Without the pressure of the oil holding up the sediment, the land surface above begins to sink. Eventually, in the 1960s, engineers stopped the sinking by injecting water back into the oil reservoirs and restoring the pressure that was once there. After this problem was halted, Long Beach wanted to try drilling for oil again, but this time they didn't want anyone to see it. In 1964, after a lengthy court battle, the state of California was granted mineral rights to the offshore oil under San Pedro Bay. The city of Long Beach and the state struck a deal. They would lease those underwater reserves to whichever oil company could extract them safely, profitably, and beautifully. The last word wasn't a suggestion. It was literally written into the law as part of what became known as the beautification clause. If the oil companies wanted access to this rich oil field, they'd have to hide their operation completely. No derricks, no noise, and no smoke. The bid was won by a consortium of 5 major oil companies: Texaco, Humble, Union, Mobil, and Shell, who joined forces under the name THUMS. Their solution to the beautification clause would lead to one of the strangest architectural projects in California history. 4 man-made islands, built from the ocean floor up. The islands were about to literally rise from the sea and change the look of the Long Beach shoreline forever. THUMS hired hundreds of workers, engineers, and designers. They brought in over 640,000 tons of boulders from Catalina Island, each one weighing up to 5 tons, and piled them into the sea to form the outer rings of the islands. Then came 3.2 million cubic yards of sand, dredged from the bottom of San Pedro Bay to fill the centers. Slowly the land began to take shape, each island between 10 and 12 acres wide, anchored by concrete and rock. But this was not beautiful enough. This was simply makeup on a pig. They needed to make it more beautiful. So THUMS turned to a man named Joseph Linesh. He wasn't an oil engineer. He was a theme park architect who had designed landscapes for Disneyland, Astroworld, and later Epcot. If anyone could make this pig pretty, it would be this guy. His specialty was in making industrial ugliness disappear behind imagination. His task was to disguise the rigs as futuristic island resorts. He envisioned palm trees, waterfalls, tropical flowers, and sleek white towers hiding the machinery within. He wanted the islands to feel alive, like a piece of mid-century modern art floating in the ocean. Working with sculptor Henry J. Goldman and Disney landscape designer Morgan Bill Evans, they created something that was a strange mix of South Pacific mixed with the Jetsons. Each derrick was enclosed within curved fiberglass walls and hidden behind tall towers that appeared like hotels from the shore. And the waterfalls weren't just for decoration. They were a sound barrier, designed to drown out the roar of drills and pumps. Everything on the island had a purpose. Concrete panels around the island muffled sound, and electric power replaced diesel to keep the operation nearly silent. Leinesh would later say his plan was to create a, quote, fantasy landscape that celebrates technology while concealing its scars. The scars were definitely concealed now. Most people don't even know this is a giant oil operation. Before we continue with the story, I want to show you guys a short preview of my latest upload on the Patreon. If you enjoy my content and would like to see more, especially if you are into stranger, darker history, true crime, conspiracies, and uncensored, unfiltered videos, make sure to check it out. This is the 4th episode in my Patreon exclusive series called The Spiral. Here's a 1-minute clip. They called him Dr. Jolly, but his work was anything but lighthearted. This is the story of a man who was a psychiatrist, military officer, and CIA asset. He studied hypnosis, secretly administered LSD to human subjects, and played a role in one of the darkest and strangest experiments ever carried out on American soil. He was MK Ultra's most controversial scientist. In the early days of the Cold War, America was gripped by a silent terror. The fear wasn't just spies or invasions. It was also invisible weapons that could change a man's mind. By 1950, a new term entered the American vocabulary: brainwashing. Now, back to the story. Each of the THUMS Islands were named in honor of a fallen American astronaut. By 1969, the operation was producing more than 140,000 barrels of oil a day. To the city, it was an engineering miracle. To the oil companies, it was a masterpiece of camouflage. And to the people watching from shore, it was something else entirely. A strange, glowing mystery floating in the bay. Today, the THUMS Islands still stand, glowing off the Long Beach coast like floating mirages. Most people driving down Ocean Boulevard or walking along Shoreline Village have no idea what they're looking at. More than 50 years later, over 1 billion barrels of oil have been pumped from beneath these artificial islands. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.